I was so little, the racket was bigger than I was. And with 3, I remember that we were playing over the net already, and I could hit the ball like 15 times over the net, and that was pretty good for a girl at my age. And before I had my first tournament, but I always spent the most of the time on the court with my mother.
Mother and daughter, coach and pupil. They strung along together through the difficult days in communist Czechoslovakia and into the freedom of Switzerland with one goal in mind, to be #1 in the world.
She's been also like a professional tennis player in Czech Republic only because she couldn't get out of the country. And so as soon as I was born, so she stopped her own career and started playing with me.
This parent-child relationship is unique because the two of them are best friends as well. In Melbourne in January, when Martina won her first major title, the celebration began with Mom making a splash as well. Oof.
I was running to kiss her, just go there and give her a big hug, and she just jumped and fell. And everyone was talking about it. But I don't think that was that high.
Well, it scared me, I'll tell you that. I thought, poor Melanie is going to break a leg, at least.
Oh, you can't get my mom under just so easily. I hope as long as I'm going to play tennis, she's always going to be with me there, and she's always been there for me, so I don't think I could play without her.
You can't hold down these two. The #1 singles player in the world and her mom are right now the best doubles team in the game.
And here they come. The finalists take the court. Big moment for each. Iva Majoli. Good exchange, won by Majoli, love 30.
Important to get off to a good start. Iva Majoli, as she comes into the net, she's not a natural volleyer. This is not a natural stroke for her, but she's taken the initiative right from the start.
Caught the line. Not that time. 15-30.
From behind the baseline, a very low percentage shot, but she has such great feel for the ball. Martina Hingis behind the baseline here. Majoli is a good mover, but nothing special. That's a good play.
A good forehand reply of the serve of Hingis by Majoli to earn a break point. That serve caught the service line and skidded on Majoli.
Martina Hingis, not known as a quick starter. She almost plays as hard as she has to in the beginning. You know, she assesses the situation, and she looks to see the weaknesses, the strengths. She almost plays as hard as she has to.
Denies Majoli a break point. We're underway for the French Championship in sunny Paris. Singles titles and the Grand Slam to start this year in Australia.
Au service, Iva Majoli.
And there's the driving force, Melanie Molitor, her mother, and coach, and a good friend.
Good friend, very low-key, stays in the background, lets Martina have all the attention. Really devoted her life to Martina.
Hingis had thoughts of coming to the net and retreated. 15-love. Melanie Molitor was a contemporary of Martina Navratilova, a tennis player in her youth in Czechoslovakia, and that was her favorite player, and thus named her daughter after the famed tennis star Navratilova. 15 all.
Always idolized Martina, but funny enough, Hingis's game really is not very much like Navratilova. It's sort of a combination of a lot of players.
You're being modest. Many compare first to your game, thoughtful and such pinpoint accuracy, and so stable mentally and emotionally.
With more weapons. I think it's a good assessment.
Well, for Majoli, who, if anyone has the jitters today, I figure that she's the one. She seems more prone to emotions. Needs not to lose her first service game. Caught the line.
Oof. Well, Dick, I don't think people realize how tough it is to come out here and play your first Grand Slam title. I mean, very few players have actually won when they've been in the finals for the first time. My first time I played Margaret Court in the finals, was up 5-3 in the third, choked the match away because of nerves, because of the occasion.
All of a sudden you're looking at the red clay and saying, this isn't Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to win a Grand Slam. A point for 1-all for Majoli.
I think game-wise, there's no comparison between the two players. I mean, Martina has more shots, more variety, more weapons, but her biggest danger really is to become overconfident and walking out on the court thinking that she already has the title because she's not playing a top seed.
It's 1-all. Iva Majoli from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. There's Nick Bollettieri, lower left, migrated to the U.S. where she trained since age 12 at the Bollettieri Academy.
Drago, her brother, her father Stanko's not here, but Drago and Stanko are actually her coaches. And she gets a lot of good advice from Nick, but she owes a lot and gives a lot of credit to Drago. And really, to win this match, she has to go for those shots, but she has to make them. She has to really play above her head a little bit, play more aggressively, take more chances. And if the balls are falling in, she has a good shot at it. But if they're not, she doesn't have a chance at all.
Hingis strikes the ball so well on the move. There it is, second best start ever for a woman. Graf opened up 45-0 a few years ago, 6 titles, including the Grand Slam in Melbourne.
I think her rise really started last summer. U.S. Open, she reached the semifinals. Then she reached the finals of the Chase Manhattan Championships, which is the year-end. Went, if you remember, 5 sets with Steffi Graf. Won the Australian, won all these tournaments.
And this is her first competition since the horseback injury that required arthroscopic surgery on that left knee. She's played herself back into shape in this Grand Slam. I
also think playing doubles. You know, she reached the semifinals of the doubles, lost with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, a real tight match, 11-9 the third. There you see the knee. Hasn't bothered her at all this tournament. She's taking care of it. She's icing it. She's getting ultrasound. She's taking good care of it before and after the matches.
Game to Hingis. They're on serve 2-1. Opening a harness and a straitjacket the way she's devouring all the competition.
She really has a zest for life. I've never seen a #1 player enjoy being #1 and what goes along with it more than Martina Hingis.
Yeah, her attitude belies the years.
One of the characteristics of Martina Hingis is cockiness. And this week, after her match with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, somebody asked her how she played, and she goes, "Oh, I played so well I could have beaten her with left-handed." And things like, and she's in the press conference, she says, I should dictate my schedule because I'm #1 in the world.
Oh, there is a foot fault call, and that's the first we've seen, men or women or doubles, the entire championship, and it comes in the finals. That's just as overlooked here at the Terre Battue until now. And it creates a double fault.
That threw her timing off. This is her weak point, really, her serve. You know, when she loses a little confidence, her head comes down and her elbow comes down, and she really doesn't go up for the ball and get her body into it.
Well, there's no question she foot faulted, but for the history of this 2 weeks, for it to come in the first set of the women's final seems a bit cruel. Ooh, she doesn't miss many of those. That was for a double break point.
But this is still where she's great because she's looking ahead 2 shots. Her goal is to come into the net and end the point, and she's trying to figure out a way to do it. That's called court sense, and she has it better than anyone. Really, the only chance that Iva Majoli has is to dictate the point and to be the aggressor. She does not want to be on the defensive with Martina Hingis.
That's that inside-out forehand that opened the court that you talked about.
But she's deadly on both sides, you know, which is intimidating. That's why I think we're going to see a few drop shots. I think Martina Hingis is going to try to bring her up to the net. It's very uncomfortable for her up there.
Well, she survived that double fault and holds at 2-all. We talked about the youngest, and now the fastest to start a season. Steffi Graf ripping through 45 straight matches in 1987. That was a year before her Grand Slam year. And Hingis now second best. Martina, Chris Evert, and the others fall behind.
The only blemish I see to Martina Hingis' record is that she hasn't beaten and she hasn't played Steffi Graf since her streak. And if you call that a blemish, you know, Steffi still, whether you like her or not, was the reigning #1 player before Martina. And I think her chief competitor.
And because of the injury to Graf, that opened it up for Hingis to take that #1 spot.
Slip in there.
Oh, love 30.
Martina Hingis on the defensive. Can Majoli keep this up, though? Dictate the points. It's a very hard task.
Oh!
If she hits shots like that, she can do it.
And with that big forehand, 3 break points.
Oh, that was a first serve.
One of them erased.
Good player against a player who opens up the court on that side, because Iva really likes to run around that backhand. She leaves that forehand side open.
Oh, what a series of backhands from the #1 player in the world.
Well, Martina had Iva on a string this whole point. Martina isn't even moving a step. She's right in the middle of the court the whole time.
Still a chance to break for Majoli. Illustrated Hingis's ability to defend the court.
Also, Iva's reluctance to come to the net. She could have ended that point 3 times, I counted, in that rally. She was in the midcourt, had Martina Hingis on the defensive, and just didn't want to come in. Just doesn't have that confidence.
So she's dug out of love 40 to deuce. Luck of the net cord, and the 4th break point for Iva Majoli.
And she has to try to end the point right there in that second serve. Don't get into a rally. Just go for the winner, whether it's down the line or cross court.
Four chances gone. Took a little off. Majoli changed the pace of that point, and it worked. And a 5th break point.
Martina really not taking this match as seriously as I thought she would. That's the one danger is really complacence, because she's had such big wins, big matches. Anya Kournikova, Monica Seles. I think she'll be doing this more often. I think we're going to see the drop shot, and we're going to be seeing Martina Hingis coming into the net. Those 2 factors.
It's wide. Hingis didn't think so, and so umpire Perot will come out to examine the call and concurs. Break point Majoli.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 6 in this game for the 19-year-old Majoli.
But, you know, when she's down, she takes her game to a higher level. And we've seen this so much this tournament. When we've thought she's been down and out, and she comes up with these big shots, that's confidence. It's really getting mad at herself, too. I think she plays better.
It's all the qualities emotionally you wouldn't expect from someone so young.
But you see it in champions. Steffi Graf is a big example of that. When she gets angry, she plays better.
So it's been a struggle. 6 break points against her serve. Finally a game point for Hingis.
I just sense that if Hingis wins this game, after all those being down those break points, she's going to run away with this first set. So Iva really has to try to scrap her way out, not make errors, but still be aggressive.
5th deuce of the game, and a second serve for Majoli. And this time net cord goes to Hingis. Oh, Hingis denies 6 breakers. It's 3.
It's already great.
15-0.
She must have been referring to the junior days beating Majoli on clay, because their 3 matches as professionals have all come indoors on the carpet. Hingis winning 2 and losing their first meeting a couple years ago.
Well, she's come up with some cocky statements, as I was alluding to earlier, and I haven't talked to her all year, Dick, so I wanted a chance to talk to her to see for myself what kind of person this young girl was. First thing she does when I see her is, "Can I see a picture of your boys?" Whipped out the pictures and said to me, "This is really what it's all about, isn't it?" And I was just astounded. I thought it's a pretty mature statement coming from a 16-year-old, and I walked away after this conversation thinking she was just the most delightful thing. You know, she just is very honest, very open, wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's great for the game.
Forehand winner again from Majoli, and using her best weapon for 30-15. A point from 3-all. And Majoli holds at 3-all. A reminder, throughout the NBA Finals, the Bulls lead now 2-1. Our own NBA on NBC analyst Steve Cybersnapper Jones will be analyzing the games live online on NBCSports.com. Join Steve. He'll give you the answers to all your questions. Game 4 tomorrow night on NBC.
Oof.
28-8 in her record, singles matches as a Grand Slam competitor, winning the Australian Open earlier this year, and was the doubles champion both at Wimbledon last year, and won the doubles with the singles title in Melbourne.
I think she could follow in the footsteps of her namesake Martina, in the sense that she's winning doubles. There's no reason why she can't win mixed doubles. Martina, however, has 55 Grand Slam titles. She has a little ways to go to catch her. Margaret Court was 62.
Now, she lost her doubles yesterday to Gigi, Fernandez and Zvereva. She's partnered with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. It's her first Grand Slam loss this year. She's 23-1 in Grand Slam matches, singles and doubles, coming into this final.
I think you're going to see here Martina Hingis. This is what makes her great. She's going to switch gears. She's been a little complacent up until this point, but she's going to start to turn it on.
Painted the line.
I think it's tough for her, because look at the players that she's beaten. She's beaten some. Anya Kournikova was a real pressure match, the 15-year-old, the first time she played someone younger. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, that was a huge win for her. Monica Seles, and now she's playing a player that she respects but is not a big name. It's hard for her to get psyched up so far.
And Majoli's big forehand earns her another break point. 7 chances thus far swiped away by Hingis. Is the 8th the charm?
Iva taking her time. She probably has some maybe clay in her eye at this point. Good time to stall, though. Good disguise. I mean, she could have gone cross court or inside out. It's hard to tell the direction of the ball.
She missed it.
Avantage, mademoiselle Hingis.
Good depth by both players, but Majoli long on this forehand.
Premier service. Égalité.
Well, those 8 break point opportunities for Majoli, that's like an NFL team inside the red zone 8 times and come away without a score. Good news is you're penetrating, you're close to scoring, but come away empty. Is that good or is that bad for Majoli?
I think Iva has the sense that Martina is not on top of her game. She is making a few errors. Ooh.
First double fault.
Avantage, mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 9, the break point for Majoli.
You know, her energy level at this point, her enthusiasm looks a little bit low. Iva really needs to jump on her right now.
And she has broken to take the lead. The underdog Majoli, 4-3. Opening set. Holds the all-time record, 7 championships, men and women, part of the ceremonies prior to the finals match today. The colors of France and the balloons are released as they celebrated those able to attend. Past champions, and Chris in the honored position of being the final champion introduced. And one that's not here is Pat Dodge. She's in Rancho Santa Fe, California. She won 50 years ago. Pat told us that she wanted to come to France, but just couldn't take the travel. But she plays every day, plays a solid doubles game yet. I know she's watching.
Oof.
And Majoli with a 4-3 lead.
It's very apropos, it's the 100th year, because this year it's been the women. The women have been the stories, the new faces, the comeback stories, the injuries. It's just been a very interesting women's tournament.
And the depth of the women's game reflected in the fact here's Majoli, the 9th seed, battling with the number 1 and with the lead. In fact, the Wimbledon seeding committee is going to have an interesting choice as to how they seed the All England Championships. Do they put the defending champion Graf, number 1, as the top grass court player?
I think
for
you
Hingis?
have to go with the Corel WTA ranking, and Wimbledon's been pretty good about that. But Steffi's won it 7 times. I cannot see. She won it 7 times, but she also is ranked number 3 in the world right now.
30 love from Majoli.
I mean, there's no question that Martina Hingis will be seeded 1, that's for sure.
The question is, will Graf be seated 2 ahead of Monica Seles, who is now the number 2 after her play here in France? Majoli, by the way, with her terrific performance in this championship, has moved to number 5 in the world. Big serve. Caught the line for 40 love.
Dick, I have to say, most of the time they do go with the Corel WTA ranking, but I have to agree with you in the fact that I would be very surprised if Steffi Graf was seeded 3 in that tournament. Because also, not only she's dominated, but Monica has really done nothing at Wimbledon on the grass.
Majoli, a very impressive service game, finishes with an ace as she holds it love and a 5-3 lead. There's her Grand Slam record, going for a big number 30 against Hingis today. Her best previous Grand Slam effort, quarterfinals here the last 2 years.
Well, this is the first time I saw her. 93 French Open, playing Steffi Graf on court number 1. She lost 7-6, 6-4, but everybody was talking about her.
Hingis showing a little anger with a double fault her second. Not the wind that we've seen in the fortnight in Paris, primarily coming from the far court toward Majoli. Today, the wind more out of the south, and that took that lob long.
See what she does here with this weak second serve. A good opportunity to go for a winner right from the start.
Showing some true accuracy.
And finally, Iva coming into the net. That was such a great shot to follow into the net. And when Martina Hingis gets down, she goes to another level, but sometimes when she misses the ball, it does look like she's tanking.
Hingis to the net.
Very much like the match against Barbara Paulistick. She lost. I mean, how many times do you see a number 1 player lose a set 6-love? Not many times. A lot of experts thought she did tank that. Came right back, though, and won the third very easily.
6-love in the third. That's wide for a game point for Hingis, and Majoli still just 2 points from the set.
Not her shot.
Mademoiselle Majoli mène 5-4.
5-4 Majoli. Bathroom break. She said, well, I'm not going to just sit here, and invited a ball boy to hit up with her. And this really won the favor of the French fans, and many of them have not forgotten.
The crowd went nuts. Her opponent was Mary Pierce at that time. So the crowd, really, the loyalty switched. As soon as Mary came back, she's saying, hey, where are my people? They're not rooting for me anymore. She didn't know what happened. Eva went on to win this match. It was an upset. That's the best French Open she's had.
The match over the ball boy or over Mary Pierce?
She beat Mary Pierce.
She won them both, huh? So she serves for the set. And opens with an ace. Her second. Well, she has been the better player in this opening set.
The juices aren't flowing yet with Martina Hingis. I'm still anticipating her really raising her game to another level like she showed us so many times this week. Ooh.
30 love.
You know, and I really don't think Eva fears Martina Hingis. I think if she's going to fear anything, it's being in the final of a Grand Slam event. As you see, Nick Bollettieri, who's helped her so much with inspiration. Her brother, Drago. We saw that shot in her semifinal against Monica Seles. Just feathers this ball, just threads the needle, and it was such soft hands, good touch, and that's really showing the finesse that we talk so much about.
30-15. And Wind will take that for 30 all.
Really
2 points critical here. 2 to win the set, 2 to break and draw even.
It's a bad mistake, too. I mean, you don't hit a shot like that when you have a chance to win the first set in a Grand Slam final.
There's a late call, but a proper one.
Once again, had so many opportunities to come to the net, and if you don't like to volley, at least come in and hit a swinging volley. She was very lucky to win this point because, boy, she had so many opportunities earlier.
We've talked about her forehand. Her backhand earned her court position and had Hingis on the run in that point and the first set point. Iva Majoli, the number 9 seed, 6-4 in the opening set. Well, this 97 French Open Championship has been one certainly of upsets, surprises, underdogs, especially in the men's side. Is it epidemic carrying over to the women's final?